The brand new Nightmare Critters were just revealed for Chapter 4, giving us multiple new character reveals and descriptions, including the sheep character from the trailer, along with a bunch of other news from some main antagonist hints already to exclusive dev updates, so stick around for all of that and more. So first, Chapter 4's Steam page and trailer released the other day, revealing the sheep character and some screenshots of the game, which upon release was a little bit controversial as the photos given to us looked a little bit unfinished and people weren't happy about the sheep villain being a recycled Smiling Critters design. But fear not, as over in the Poppy Playtime Discord server, the devs clarified to us that the sheep was actually not going to be the main villain or anything, and rather was a placeholder character that was given to us for now, but was eventually going to be replaced with the true main villain as time passed. Super similar to Chapter 3's rollout last year, which started as the gas mask banner, which people also thought was going to be the next villain, before updating it over time to what we have now. So I expect the same thing here with the sheep. And speaking on the trailer and accompanying Steam screenshots, the devs very honestly told us when asked if everything we saw here was final that that trailer was made using a very early version of our Chapter 4 build. So no, that is not a final reflection of what the game will look like, and same thing for the Steam images. So as we sort of suspected, the game that we see here isn't in a final state. They actually say it's in an early state, and we can obviously expect a ton of improvements to the general quality of the chapter as time passes. This is a little unfortunate because, to be honest, I'd rather have them put more time into making something like a cinematic trailer like what we saw with Chapter 3 if they weren't ready to show anything off yet, and maybe leave these screenshots for a little bit later, but it at least tells us there is more work to be done and we can expect big improvements for the final build, so that's always great. And they also gave us a tiny bit of behind the scenes saying that the sheep character was originally created in July of this year, and as we'll talk about, the newly revealed Nightmare Critters were originally made back in June, but those characters we talk about a ton here in a minute, so stick around. But moving on, the developers might have just revealed something big about Chapter 4 without anybody really realizing, as recently the YouTuber Nized got to interview one of the Poppy developers, Toby, who worked on the Poppy multiplayer game Project Playtime, which has now gone a year with no updates. And if you're a Project fan, the video contains a decent bit of info. They confirmed things like that there were scrapped monsters they wanted to add into the game, but most importantly for Chapter 4, when Nice asked Toby about what characters he would possibly want to add into the game in the future should it come back, interestingly he said this:
if you could add any monster to the game, who would it be?
Canon. It has so much gameplay potential. One of the things that I would add aside from Canon, alright, it's something that didn't come out yet, but once you see it you're being like, this has to be. This has to be. But yeah, I can say much, but it would be very fun.
Seemingly hinting at another future character. Now, this took place before the sheep character and the Nightmare Critters were revealed, so this could be discussing any of those, but it also could be discussing something completely new, because Toby said once we saw it, we would instantly know what he's talking about and that it would fit into the game perfectly, and I don't think any of these Smiling or Nightmare Critters really fit that description unless there's a bigger body of one of them or something, so I'm not sure, but I guess we'll see. However, moving on to the main topic of this video, as we've mentioned, recently the Poppy developers would announce the release of the Nightmare Critters, which the sheep critter from the teaser trailer is a part of, reading, introducing the Nightmare Critters. You've already met Baba Chops, our bundle of teenage angst. If you look up loner in the dictionary, her picture is slapped right next to it. Stay tuned as we slowly unveil the rest of these little guys over the next week or so. Confirming the sheep's true name is Baba Chops, who in the accompanying bio page, formatted like the original Smiling Critters ones, shows us her 2D design, which looks pretty solid, and reads, the black sheep of the bunch. Baba prefers to keep her space, like a lot of space, too much space. She could be distant, quiet, low energy, and it usually requires a lot of coaxing to get her out of the house. Luckily for her, she has some very persistent friends, who I assume are the other Nightmare Critters. She usually perks up after a while, something we've definitely already seen, but the next day, we're right back to the same tune, and she is scented like anise, which is a type of plant, I believe. So basically, it seems like Baba Chops is going to be themed around being an almost gothic, introverted character, hence the skull pendant. And also, judged from her having a scent like all of the other critters, this suggests that, like the Smiling Critters, these were designed as some kind of a plush line in the Playtime Co universe. And this really makes me wonder what they could have been for, because in the Poppy orientation notebook, they described the original Smiling Critters as a massive failure for the company, so it would be really weird for them to try again with a new set of Nightmare Critters. Maybe since we haven't heard about them anywhere in the game yet, they were meant to be the next big thing after the Smiling Critters, but since those were such a big disaster, they were immediately scrapped and never made it out of pre-production. I'm not sure, but following this reveal, on the next day, the next Smiling Critter was officially revealed, named Icky Licky, which is one of the worst named characters I've ever seen. But looking at their design, they appear to be one of those poisonous frogs or toads with a radioactive pendant, interestingly enough, described as the type of kid to fall behind in a relay race and immediately pin it on a sore knee, even when that's not the case. He's the very definition of a poor sport. Even though he's naturally talented, he's constantly challenging everyone on absolutely everything, and usually without the outcome he expects. Don't worry, he has an excuse ready. Scented like coffee of all things. So Icky, I really hate saying that, seems like they are going to be a sore loser, and as we've seen with the two critters so far, they both have what would be seen as negative traits. Something that is expanded upon even more in the third one revealed here, showing a pink bat character with a blood pendant called Rabie Baby. Bro, what are these names? The description reads, Rabie Baby couldn't keep a secret if her life depended on it. If there's something in the world she loves, it's gossiping, and she's very practiced at it. She has no concept of privacy or boundaries, and if she's in the room, you can bet she's eavesdropping on someone. Don't worry, if she ever runs out of juicy secrets to talk about, she'll just make some up, scented like bubblegum. Now, reading the three descriptions we have so far, we could clearly see they describe all of these Smiling Critters with various negative traits. Baba Chops is a demotivated shut-in, Icky Licky is a sore loser, and Rabie Baby is a gossiper who talks behind people's backs. To me, this sounds like while the Smiling Critters from Chapter 3 are meant to be role models with personality traits like being a leader, getting enough sleep, creativity, and more, the Nightmare Critters are meant to be the complete opposite. And these were perhaps meant to be the villains in the Smiling Critter show before it was canceled due to poor performance according to the books. So instead, it seems like these characters are meant to show what you're not supposed to do and what a bad example looks like compared to the real Smiling Critters. In my opinion, this is honestly a really clever way to reintroduce the critters. However, most importantly of all, this suggests that we are going to be getting new Nightmare Critters revealed to us every single day from now until they are all revealed. And the logo provided with these announcements gives us some ideas on who else might be showcased. For instance, the C here looks like a dragon, the E looks like a shark, and the S looks like a bat who is already revealed. So those are definitely other characters that will be featured later, and we can also see on the logo there is an unexplained black and white T and a purple R with no designs or any characters to go along with them, likely being the colors of even more unrevealed critters, so comment down below what you think those could be. But predictably so, following these releases, there's been even more controversy as people were expecting some new characters and fully new designs, and just ended up with more versions of these Smiling Critters. However, the devs clarified to us again that not only is Baba Chops not the main antagonist, but they also hinted here that there are going to be more characters that aren't Nightmare Critters or anything critter related at all, and these are just going to be something on the side that they're revealing a little early for us. So expect there to be more Nightmare Critters revealed along the way, but also expect there to be more character reveals that are completely unrelated as well. I mean, there might already be more of them as you're watching this video, since they're getting revealed every day and I can't cover them all fast enough. But for real-time updates, make sure you guys are following my Twitter and are subscribed here to not miss any future videos. And while we wait for more news, check out this video where I break down the Chapter 4 Steam page.